This is Monica from RDA Media. Tonight's story is actually a follow-up on Megan Zentgraf, a woman that we did a story on 2 days ago, which can still be found at the top of this Facebook page.
I actually feel like I'm just in a crazy drama, comedy sketch.
Then I can write out a public health order which will be served by the police.
Megan found herself accidentally in contact with someone who tested positive for COVID. She self-isolated for 14 days, which was asked of her. The difference with Megan is she decided not to get a PCR test. She has no symptoms and she's a very healthy woman overall. This decision of hers sent New South Wales Health and police into a whirlwind because she has been harassed the entire time. She's been contacted by more than 3 police over the phone. She's had text messages from the Director of New South Wales Health, who has also discussed her case with the Chief Health Officer. Now, on day 17, which is 3 days after the 14-day isolation period, she even got a visit from the police, who demanded to come inside. She said she hadn't committed a crime, so she didn't let them in. And they said they weren't sure if she has committed a crime yet or not. If she was easy to intimidate, I think she would be very intimidated right now, but she said, no, I'm not letting you in. Then she called her contact at New South Wales Health, and this was the phone conversation.
I have got the police at my house. Did you call them?
No, I didn't.
Right.
Well, what are they asking?
They wouldn't even announce who they were at first. They just asked me to let them in my building. I had to ask them several times who they were. Then they said that it was the police. I said, under what circumstances were they here? And they said that they want to make sure that I'm not going against the Health Act. That I haven't. And I said, well, have I broken the law? And they said, we're not sure yet. So I just wanted to know if there was any communications between you and them. To have the police here on a Sunday morning is really alarming, and I just wanted to see if you had anything to do with that.
I haven't personally. I can't say that the health department hasn't been involved with that. They do have access to all the information, and they may have liaised with the police. I'm not sure.
Right. So you've been obviously making notes on our discussions, and you've been sending that back to the health department, who then may be back in touch with the police. Is that right?
Well, I mean, we have a centralised database, and I've discussed your case with the Chief Health Officer, and we've come to the agreement that, well, we were going to just try and continue to communicate with you and ensure that you are well. I mean, the police
and I am.
And sometimes the police will, they do have access to some information. Sometimes they will turn up and do that. I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. It wasn't instigated by me because, as I said, it's a difficult situation for us. And I'm trying to work through it the best way I can. We have actually changed the public health order, which would capture your position, your circumstances, whereby people can be instructed to go and get a test or whatever. But that's only been done overnight. So to deal with situations like that we have.
So you've just changed the law, and what's that law? That people have to be forced to get tested?
There's a new public health order that came out. It's only effective. It does not apply to you, my understanding, but it does for cases going forward. It's on the web page. It's a self-isolation public health order.
Right.
Which means that someone who's identified as a close contact, then they don't have to have a swab, but if they don't have a swab, then they need to be isolated for an extended period of time for another 10 days. I can understand that you don't want to have a swab, and that's your right, but we do need to protect the health of the community. I'm
on board with all of that, Dr. Staff. Yeah. I'm completely on board with the health of the community, but, I also very much am in tune with my own body and my own health, and I've done the right thing. I did the 14 days quarantine, so I don't quite understand why I'm getting all this pressure now. Post that 14 days, and why I've got the police knocking on my door at 10 a.m. on a Sunday morning.
The issue is that the 14 days isolation the 14 days isolation may not be enough. We are getting quite a number of people that are getting swabs done on day 10 or day 12, and they have been asymptomatic and they do come up positive. So that's our concern.
But this asymptomatic business, I mean, this is just madness. I mean, you know, it's been proven that people can't be asymptomatic, and these PCR tests aren't even, you know, they're not foolproof.
That's not actually true. We've had people that don't have symptoms that have come up PCR positive. It's a very specific test.
But the virus itself has never been isolated either. So what are you actually testing for? You've not even isolated this particular flu virus.
But what we're doing is testing for the genetic material of the coronavirus, and it's an extremely specific test. And certainly we can be very confident that the virus is actually in that human. Whether it's actually invading their body and causing any issues or not is another thing. But they can still be transmitting.
But it's not like people are dropping dead in the streets either, you know. And I've known a few people that have tested positive, and they've had absolutely nothing, like been perfectly fine, but obviously have isolated. But they've nothing. It's not. I mean, it's a 99.9% chance of recovery. This is what I don't understand. Why are people?
Megan has been contacted by more than 4 police on 4 separate occasions. She's been contacted every day by the Director of New South Wales Health. The resources that is being spent on this healthy woman with no symptoms just because she doesn't want to get a PCR test is quite remarkable. It does leave one wondering, why do they want us getting tested so badly? Why do they want healthy people getting tested as much as possible? It all seems a bit fishy to me. I will follow up with Megan and let you know how she goes. It's on day 18 now, so we'll see what happens. Till next time, have a great evening. Good night.